you will be the most powerful woman in England for exactly 3 years. Right now, you are nobody. A girl from a minor noble family with a decent education, a pretty face, and absolutely no idea what is about to happen to you. But somewhere in this palace, a king is bored. And bored kings are the most dangerous thing in the world. You arrive at court at 16. Your family spent money they do not have on your dress. Your mother told you to smile, to listen more than you speak, and never, under any circumstances, to look directly at the king. You think you understand what this place is. You do not. The court of Henry VIII is not a palace. It is a performance. Every person here has been rehearsing their role for years. The ladies who greet you with warm smiles have spent a decade calculating exactly how warm to make them. The men who bow with elegant precision have measured every degree of that bow. You are new. That means you are interesting for exactly as long as it takes people to decide what you are worth to them. You learn quickly. Proximity to power is its own currency. The closer you stand to someone important, the more important you become. Silence is not weakness here, it is information. A woman who speaks too much reveals too much. You learn that beauty is not enough. Beauty is the invitation. What happens after you walk through the door depends on something else entirely. Wit, timing, control. You have all three. You just do not know it yet. It happens at a dance. Not because dances are romantic. Because dances are one of the few places at court where the rules briefly bend. Where a king can look at a woman who is not his wife without it being written into a document. He looks at you, not the way men have looked at you before, with something more specific, more dangerous. The look of a man who has decided he wants something and has never once in his life been told he cannot have it. You look back. That is your first decision, and it changes everything. Within a week, small things begin to happen. A better room, an invitation to a private supper, a gift, a length of silk the color of which happens to match your eyes exactly. The kind of detail that tells you someone has been paying very close attention. Your family is ecstatic. Your mother says this is exactly what they hoped for. Your father says nothing, but his silence has a new quality. Careful, watchful, relieved. No one asks what you want. That is not how this works. Let us be honest about what is happening. You are not falling in love. You are being selected. There is a difference, and in the court of a Tudor king, understanding that difference is what keeps you alive longer than the women who confuse the two. The king is charming, genuinely, devastatingly charming when he wants to be. He is also a man who has had everything he ever wanted since the day he was born, which means he has never learned to tolerate disappointment. Not in small things, not in large ones. If you laugh too loudly at another man's joke, he notices. If you seem distracted when he speaks, he notices. If you cannot perform complete and total adoration on the days when adoration is the last thing you feel, he notices. And what he notices, he remembers. So you learn to perform joy the way other people learn to play an instrument, every day, with discipline, with the full understanding that one missed note is not a mistake. It is a message. Meanwhile, the court watches. The older ladies look at you with something that is not quite pity and not quite warning. The men who were indifferent to you last month now find your opinions fascinating. The Queen's ladies treat you with a coldness so precisely calibrated, it could only have been practiced for years. You are no longer nobody. You are also no longer safe. 3 months in, you understand something no one explained to you. You have power. Not the power of a queen, something stranger and more fragile. The power of being wanted by the most powerful man in the country. In a court where everything flows from the king's favor,
Proximity to that favor is its own kind of authority. Ministers bring you careful requests. Men who ignored you last season now circle with small favors and useful information. You learn to use this carefully. Too much and you become threatening. Too little and you waste the only currency you have before it expires. Because it will expire. You know this. Somewhere beneath the new dresses and the king's hand finding yours in the dark, you know this. Every woman in this position has known it. The only variable is when. So quietly, privately, you think about after. You think about what you are building, not just for now, for the version of your life that comes when the king looks across a room and finds someone new. Land, a title if possible. A marriage from a position of strength rather than desperation. Love is not the currency here. Security is. It does not happen overnight. That is the cruel part. If it happened overnight, you could locate the moment. You could say, there, that was when everything shifted. But it does not work that way. It works the way winter comes, gradually, and then all at once. And by the time you feel the cold, it has already been settling for months. He still comes to you, but less often. There are new ladies at court. You notice him noticing them. You notice yourself noticing him noticing them. You become more careful, which is exhausting because you were already so careful. The people who filled your rooms begin to thin. Not dramatically. A canceled visit, an excuse. The instinct for survival that runs through this court like a current. People feel the shift before it is visible. The warmth in their greetings drops by a degree. Nothing you could name, just the undeniable sense that the tide has turned. Your family's letters become more urgent. Secure certain agreements before circumstances change. Your mother sends a distant cousin to visit, a girl, 17, excellent manners. A face that reminds you uncomfortably of yourself at that age. You understand what they are doing. You do not blame them. This is how survival works. There is a new one. Of course there is. She is younger, quieter, or appears to be, which at court amounts to the same thing. She has learned from watching you, the way you learned from watching the women before you. This is how knowledge passes in a place where no one writes down the real rules. The king looks at her the way he once looked at you. You watch this happen. And here is the strangest part. You feel something for her. Not sympathy exactly, not warning exactly, something in between. The specific feeling of watching someone walk towards something you have already survived, knowing that nothing you say will change their direction. Knowing also that you would not have listened either. Your room's empty. The invitations stop. Not all at once. That would be too cruel even for this place. They thin the way light thins at the end of a winter afternoon. Until one day you look around and understand that what you are seeing is the shape of your new life. If you are lucky, and here luck is a serious word, not a casual one, you survive this. Not every woman does. Some are sent from court with nothing. Some are married hastily to men chosen not for their character, but for their willingness to take a woman the king is finished with. Some find themselves accused of things that have nothing to do with love, and everything to do with who needs them to be guilty right now. You have been careful. You leave court with your life, your name mostly intact. A small estate negotiated quietly in a better month. A future smaller than you once imagined, but still yours. On the road away from the palace, you think about the girl who is now where you were. You hope she is careful. You know she thinks she will be different. You were also certain you would be different. The real story is not about a king. It is about a woman who navigated one of the most dangerous environments in the world, with almost no formal power and almost no protection, and who made decisions, some of them wrong, most of them impossible, in conditions that gave her no good options. She was not a saint. She was not a monster. She was someone who understood the rules of a game she did not choose to play, and who played it with everything she had, and who survived it in a world that was not built for her survival. That is not a scandal. That is a life. And somewhere in this palace right now, another girl has just arrived from a minor noble family. Decent education, pretty face, absolutely no idea what is coming. The king is bored, and the whole thing is about to begin again.